Before 2016, Nick was a YouTuber who made content that had nothing to do with food, or at least not in the way that it is now. He made videos surrounding the fact that he was vegan. Even though this is the first video on his channel, he had plenty of content before this, but apparently a good portion of it was solely based around, veganism. Therefore, his newfound rejection of vegans made it so he desperately needed something new. And the change was obvious, right? Go from eating vegan food to eating junk food. This was the true birth of the Nikocado avocado, we all know and love. But in the beginning, Nick lived with his now husband, Orlin, in Colombia. They owned 2 birds, one nice and friendly, but less intelligent, and another more aggressive, but cold and smarter. From the very beginning, you can see that Nick derives a great amount of pleasure from the food that he eats. Little does he know, this first bite would lead him down a path of mukbangs to the 300-pound mess he is today. At this point in time, Nick made his political stance known. Not necessarily stance, but an opinion. He displayed his dislike with the ever more, prevalent, left-wing politics and mainstream media, like one of his shows that he watches, The View.
For many issues I've been watching, it's too liberal, even though I agree with a lot. It's like, I want to see discussion. That's how we learn, that's how our minds grow, like I want to see real debate. You don't really have real debate. And they had Donald Trump's campaign manager, even though they disagreed with her, I feel like they were terribly rude to her in some instances, well, many instances, shouting and screaming and not giving her a chance to speak and this and that.
This is the first of many recorded interactions with his various neighbors over the years to come.
This and that. Do you hear the radio? Okay, that's next door. They put the radio on. Hopefully you don't hear the radio. This is #city life. You don't get a choice what your neighbors do.
As you can see, he came off very polite and understanding.
Those neighbors. Those neighbors don't like you.
At this point in time, Nick wanted to keep his relationship with Orlin basically private.
I like to keep our relationship pretty private. After watching other people's relationships explode. Excuse me, what am I talking about? We're not private. We talk about our whole lives. Let me rephrase that. Details. I leave a lot of things into mystery.
Which is also a far cry from where he is today. Today, he often makes their problems a main part of the video. He talks about developing skills like violin and being done with diets.
Now, I really know for myself. I am done with diets, you guys. I am done. F diets.
Ironically, his newfound love for food would pretty much be his downfall, and he would put all his other hobbies, such as acting and music, on the back burner in favor of food. In this video, we get a better idea of his food history.
This is my first time ever having ramen noodles.
Little did he know ramen would be his favorite food of all time, even making a channel dedicated to it called Noodle King. Nick also goes on to highlight the idea that every community has crazy people, which is very important later on.
There's a carnivorous plant community on YouTube, all the other carnivorous plant owners. But yeah, there's some crazy people in that community. He was telling me about one of these YouTubers, but he was making consistent videos about carnivorous plants. Well, he has an updated video saying, I'm no longer making videos. The plant community is too crazy, full of nut jobs. And so it just goes to show, no matter what group of people you get yourself in life with, there will be the outcasts, there will be the people that throw the stones,
But lastly, I'd like to show you a clip that I think will sum up Nick's life in these early days.
There's Orlin. Okay, here we are, and here are the ingredients you are going to need. Variety. Excuse me, mister. Get your little behind out of here. Ay, Dios mío. Ay, he just wants love. Here's Orlin throwing out that green carrot. And
After these early times, Nick entered the best era of his life as a person on YouTube. He began to turn away from home-cooked foods and towards fast foods. Nick integrated fast food into a lot of his mukbang meals. Nick made about 120 mukbangs in this era, eating whatever he wanted with seemingly no consequences, having I would say, a great time. In reality, behind the scenes, something very sinister started to form. What we see right here is the start of an addiction.
The video about Orlin having so behavior, wanting to kill himself over something so stupid as dumplings. Everyone victimizes everyone. Plants victimize other plants. So something happened just right now. Orlin and I got a fight.
The hate from fans, the hate from vegans, the hate from his fiance, Orlin, it all proved to be too much for Nick to handle. After this video, a trend started on his channel of occasional quote-unquote meltdown videos, where Nick let all of his feelings be heard. These videos slowly became more and more prevalent on his channel. Nick kept on doing these videos, maybe because of an increased viewership. Maybe he just wanted an outlet for his emotions. Nonetheless, his videos would often go from him being a crying mess in one to a happy mukbanger in the next. The stark difference brought in new viewers who simply wanted to watch his train wreck of a life. But soon, Nick began to do something even worse. The video, Crying and Eating Pizza, started a genre which combined his meltdown videos with a mukbang, effectively making the best of both worlds. On top of an army of hate, Nick was being pulled down from a second angle. His weight began absolutely spiraling out of control. Nick and Orlin went from being in good shape to being in pear shape, and then from pear shape to severely overweight. They did this transition at an alarming rate.
What is in here? Is that you? I don't know. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's like... Oh. Now, I really just feel like this is waterway. It has... Say hello to my double chin. Say hello.
But when you look at their videos, it makes perfect sense. The amount of food that they ate just piled on. I understand that he relies on filming himself eating junk food to pay the bills, but it's just like any other job. You have to consider if it's worth the suffering. If you do manual labor, you have to decide if, hurting your body is worth the money. If you do adult work, you have to decide if hurting your image is worth the money. Just like how if you do mukbangs, you have to decide if it's worth the money. Something important to understand about Nick is that he's playing a character.
If you've been following me for more than a couple of years, because I obviously do a lot more, way more skits now and stuff, but back when I first started YouTube, I was unsure what character I would be for the internet, right? So I used to just sit down and kind of talk. I mean, obviously some of it was very dramatized. Anyway.
He even goes as far as to say he values his videos as acting experience. I don't have that clip, but I'm sure you'll take my word on that one. Me being such a Nikocado avocado connoisseur. We all know modern day Nick.
No, you get, excuse you.
340.
And we all know, early Nick.
Today we are doing something really special. This is my first time ever.
But when exactly did he make the switch? Truth be told, it progressed slowly, finally leading him to...
Honey, come back. Come back, get the beachy ball. Throw it to daddy. I'm back home. Shooby-doo, I'm home. Hello, I'm back home. Taco Bell. Wait, no, this is Burger King. I'm back home.
This and this are two entirely different people. Not by his size, but by the way he acts. These videos of flamboyance became more and more common until they overtook his channel. His entire character hinges around being loud and doing weird things, but mostly only for the first few minutes. For the first few minutes of the video, he dances around, he yells, "It's just water weight, it's just water weight."
Hello, I'm back home. I'm home. Hello, we got the scale over here, and we're gonna weigh myself today, cause we're gonna learn about the BMI charts, cause today's my cheat day.
Every day's your cheat day.
In order to hook in the audience, with all potential lol cows, you have to figure out if it's just satire or clickbait. But with Nikocado avocado, it's one of those things where it's basically guaranteed. I know that this isn't a joke because I can see the weight gained. By this time, Nick has already gained a considerable amount of weight, but moving forward, he would only get bigger and bigger at an inhuman pace. In 3 years, Nick and Orlin went from this to this. Although this is already a massive weight gain, the crippling realization of how far he's fallen sent this man into hyperdrive. From this point forward, after November 2019, Nick started gaining weight at a never-before-seen pace. The only thing that seemed to slow down was the frequency of uploads on his channel. Because of problems with his monetization of this kind of content, Nick had to create almost an army of channels. He also got into a lot of drama with the mukbang and drama community, proving his claim from 2016 that no matter what community you're in, you will always find conflict.
And so it just goes to show, no matter what group of people you get yourself in life with, there will be the outcasts, there will be the people that throw the stones,
As his weight skyrocketed, his relationship issues seemed to follow suit. Today, almost every video made by Nick features his fighting with Orlin in some way. Nick moving out, Nick moving to quote-unquote Asia, Nick moving out again. And side note, these were just hotels. Orlin going missing, and my favorite, food fights.
I'm not going vegan. I'm not. Go vegan! Go vegan! What the f***? Orlin, stop! Stop! Go vegan! Do it for the animals! Do it for the animals!
On top of it all, there's an insane amount of videos of Nick and Orlin breaking up or just fighting in general. But along with these funny videos, there are actually some very serious ones. Like I said, most of the time, Nick and Orlin are just playing a character.
I've lost weight from the you-know-what.
Oh, this is a horrible angle. I don't even fit. Here's your fit.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna, get back here.
But sometimes, he comes out with these gut-wrenching videos.
My diabetes, my weight, everybody.
The worst mistake of my life.
Because I.
Leave me alone. I don't want to see you. Leave me alone.
I'm just stressed.
Leave me alone. It's all about you. That's all you care about. It's all about you. Just leave me alone.
So I asked Orlin that he cannot do laundry.
Can you get away from me?
And I said, just relax. And he just decided to
Just
do it.
get away
And then
from
he
me.
blamed it on me.
Leave me alone.
That's all I
Dirty clothes
said.
in the hamper. Why did you
That's
have to
all
tell
I
me?
said.
I wasn't putting any dirty clothes in the hamper. Why did you have to tell me?
would have done it tonight when you took your clothes off to go to sleep.
And that's about it. That's about, well, not really. That's not really it. You see, his videos are an hour each, and he has so many videos. I'm not even lying. You know, if Chris Chan is the most well-documented person on the planet, Nick is number 2, you know? It would take hundreds of hours for someone to watch all of these and listen to everything he has to say. And that, you know, and there's a confession to be made. I have watched so much Nick Avocado. There are things that I know about him. There are facts that I know about him, and I don't know why I know these facts. That being said, I have engineered a solution. Nick is a Trump supporter. Maybe. He maybe is. You know, as I mentioned before, he displayed a dislike with, you know, the left-wing stuff in mainstream media like The View. You know, this is gonna sound crazy, but back when I legitimately watched his videos, I picked up on very small quotes and rants that he had. He hasn't said much, and I really cannot remember a single quote that makes me think this, but I've came to a conclusion that he voted for Trump, or at the very least is a Republican. You know, as a 300-pound gay man, his opinions definitely won't align with other Republicans. Hey. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to misrepresent him. Nick has a lot of hobbies, like eating and acting and singing and eating and eating and also eating. And he does a little bit of eating too, and maybe on his downtime, maybe weekend, he eats. And shitting and eating. All of his other hobbies, like singing and acting, are pushed aside and suffocated in favor of eating. He usually uses the rationale that eating is a job and he has to do it. Along with that, he says people won't watch him if he eats healthy food, which is true to an extent. Nick isn't the best musician or actor.
You are possessed.
You are scary.
Or at the very least, he isn't as good as he could be. He diverts all of his passion into food, and he has none left for anything else. Now, some people would say that Nick is a Karen. Considering how frequently he interacts with fast food restaurants and workers, there's bound to be some mistakes.
Looked at me and said, "You Nikocado?" And I said, "Yes." And he went, shoved it right up into my face like, "No, here you are. May I help you? Have a nice day. Thank you for shopping at KFC." Nothing. Just thrown in my face. So no tip for you, sir. My soda. Where's my soda?
Nick has laid out this rationale. If you order 2 things online and they only give you 1, that's stealing. They took your money and didn't give you what you paid for. Therefore, the same is true with fast food. Orlin has a big problem. Orlin has been doing something terrible to Nick. When he buys fast food, he doesn't check that the order is right. He doesn't double check the bag and check, oh, did you get the chicken sandwich or the penis sandwich? Oh, you got the penis sandwich? Take it back. How could you, Orlin? It's just water weight. Water weight is basically extra weight you store in the body made up of water. Nick isn't fat. He's not fat, he's just hydrated. Nick's weight gain has gotten to the point where his life is put at risk when he sleeps. He wears a CPAP or a breathing machine at night. When Nick makes trips to Walmart, he needs to use a mobility scooter. He can't walk for extended periods of time. You would think someone in his shoes would get regular blood tests, but Nick has a crippling fear of having blood drawn, along with a fear of shots and doctors in general. Nick relies on Patreon and Cameo to supplement his income. He has a unique method of advertising his Patreon. You see, in the middle of the most suspenseful moment, Nick cuts. He cuts the commercial.
This holiday season, come treat yourself and join my Patreon. You'll get tons of mukbangs and other content not allowed on YouTube. It makes a great Christmas present. Must be age 18 or older. Link below.
When it comes to monetization, not only do I think his ads are tasteful, I think they're far better than any other ad. Let me give you an example. Offline TV. I click on a video. I click on a video about $10 versus $100 sushi, and bam! Bam, out of nowhere, I'm getting an ad for a mobile game.
Mobile Legends Adventure. Mobile Legends Adventure.
Meanwhile, I go to Nick's channel. I click on a Nick video. I'm watching him cry. I'm watching him throw food around. Then bam, I'm watching an ad for a place where I can watch him cry and throw food around. But you know where he puts his ads the most? People watch the first bite and then they leave. They watch that first bite hits and they're gone. I legitimately wonder how a starving African child would react if you showed him this video. That being said, these are some of the funniest videos, not only on his channel, but also on the internet. They don't do it that often. The reason being is he always talks about how much he hates having to clean up. You ever wonder where all that food goes? Not me. Not me. I know where it goes. Nick has an extensive amount of videos where he
I just pooped. I just freaking pooped. I just leaked. Oh my god. Oh my god, I just pooped.
Orlin, look at this. You pooped yours? What the What the did you do? Clearly, I've had Popeye's chicken sandwich. Can you turn on?
But that's it for that, and we're gonna be, there's gonna be a tone change. So far, this entire thing has been very lighthearted and fun, and I wish I could end it like that. Nick's story is one of morbid obesity, a failing marriage, and overall, suicide. A long time ago, when I was in middle school, I read a book called Butter. The main character, and he decides to kill himself. He has a deadly allergy to strawberries. He broadcasts himself eating a massive amount of food, including strawberries. There are a lot of people who decide that they want to just not continue going, but instead of just ending it, they start living a reckless life. Nikocado Avocado is suicidal, and this is his method of suicide. Maybe he doesn't want to kill himself, but he doesn't care if he dies. Behind all the flaws, I think Nick is a genuinely good guy, and I wish nothing but the best for him.